Elden Ring Night Rain, it is a co-op action survival, which you could classify this as a roguelike.
Cult of the Lamb is a hybrid roguelite dungeon crawling beat-em-up base management adventure game.
This game is essentially Dead Cells. This is a fast-paced action roguelite adventure, and
it's another Souls-like.
First-person witch hunter, maybe roguelike, Souls-like sort of thing.
It's a top-down arena-based roguelike.
Mixes together a roguelike dungeon crawler and a shopkeeping minigame.
It's actually a poker-inspired roguelike deck builder.
Deck building roguelike dungeon crawler.
First-person platformer with deck building and visual novel elements.
Nature-themed deck building roguelite based in an escape room environment soaked in psychological horror.
Mash together RPG and survival horror game elements with a roguelike Metroidvania style, then throw in a dash of aesthetics from games like Silent Hill, Resident Evil.
The gameplay is where mainly Resident Evil comes in, with sprinkles of Silent Hill.
Fixed camera survival horror game like the Resident Evil and Silent Hill.
The elements from classic survival horror titles such as the original Resident Evil trilogy, and mixes in many of the themes found throughout the Silent Hill games.
Sounds good.
This game is a love letter to the survival horror genre.
It's a love letter to the early era of survival horror.
It's essentially a love letter to the elements of classic survival horror.
The game is a love letter to N64 era games.
A love letter to the RPGs.
What I can only call a love letter to veteran JRPG fans.
What does it mean to be a JRPG versus a Western RPG versus even a CRPG?
One of my favorite JRPG series of all time, and that is
Dragon Ball.
I think there's too much choice in it for it to be an RPG.
Really?
Like, would you consider Fire Emblem a JRPG?
Yeah.
It takes heavy influence from Zelda, but the twist is that there's also a heavy Pikmin element to it as well.
A traditional top-down Zelda-style adventure with the mechanics of a twin-stick shooter.
Even though Tunic may look like a simplistic isometric action-adventure that draws clear inspiration from the early Legend of Zelda games, it is in reality Link's Awakening.
Cozy survival games.
Cozy games suck.
It's a whimsical open-world fantasy game with food fight-style battles to beat down silly monsters.
A retro indie RPG where you play as an obese scuba diver who runs a sushi shop.
It's Australian Animal Crossing with a splash of chill survival.
Fusion of a Mirror Master style 2D hack and slash and a match 3 puzzler may sound odd.
Ender Lilies is a 2D action platformer and Metroidvania.
As yet another Metroidvania with a Dark Souls bent,
this 2D side-scroller borrows from Souls-likes, Metroidvanias, platformers, and more.
It's a board game-inspired, tile-laying, strategy and resource management survival and deck-building puzzle game with roguelike elements and a discovery-centric progression loop built around non-linear narrative exploration. Let me put it another way. It's Outer Wilds meets Inscription by way of Her Story if it were more like Myst, and included elements of both the Zero Escape games and newspaper puzzles. Oh, and also, it's all kind of in the format of the tabletop game Betrayal at House on the Hill.
The elevator pitch for Remnant is basically Dark Souls.
Apparently this game is like Dark Souls mixed with darker and darker, so it's a Souls-like PvPE.
Pony Island is not a good game.